Now, here's the CBS 6 News at 5.
CBS 6 News at 5 starts with a breaking news alert.
That breaking news comes out of Henrico County, where police are sharing new details about a deadly hit and run involving a pedestrian. Thanks for joining us here at 5. I'm Julie Bragg.
I'm Cheryl Miller. That accident happened around 2 o'clock this morning at the intersection of Staples Mill Road and Bremner Boulevard. And we're now learning more about the driver and the victim. Our Elizabeth Holmes has the details.
It's the site of Henrico County's first fatal hit and run reported in 2024, Staples Mill Road and Bremner Boulevard. Police say a 17-year-old driving under the influence with a fake ID struck a pedestrian around 2 a.m. there and fled. He was later arrested and now faces a slew of charges, including felony hit and run and involuntary manslaughter. The victim is 27-year-old Andre Antonio Masado of New Jersey.
That area of Staples Mill is just really unsafe.
That's Natalie Rayner's reaction to it all. She's a cyclist who was hit by a driver who was under the influence in Henrico County over a year ago.
Anytime a person is hit by a vehicle, it is a tragedy. And unfortunately, it will continue to happen as long as our neighborhoods are not built for safety of pedestrians in mind.
She's advocating for better pedestrian safety measures at busy intersections like this one.
Just having sidewalks does not make it safe for people to ride bikes, and it doesn't make it safe for people to cross the street. And when you have really wide intersections with no crosswalks, drivers just aren't paying attention. They're not expecting pedestrians.
It's something Henrico County is aware of.
So if you're out in the evening, a lot of times pedestrians are having to cross the street, either mid-block or, at the intersection, and a lot of those are dark. So that's been part of the challenge.
Henrico is working on installing pedestrian signals and more lighting, already fully funded by the county, but has to go through VDOT for state-maintained roads like Staples Mill.
Coincidentally, those are also the highest volume roads. They're also the roads with the most commercial activity. And unfortunately, they're the roads with the most pedestrian safety issues.
These projects will likely take years to complete. Rayner is begging everyone to be mindful before then.
It's hard to convince people to care about total strangers, but at the end of the day, we all have somewhere where we need to be. We're all equal. We all have a right to use these roads to get from point A to point B, and we have to work together in order to keep our neighborhoods safe.
And that was CBS 6's Elizabeth Holmes reporting. That 17-year-old driver is now being held at Henrico County's juvenile detention home.
More breaking news this afternoon in Richmond tied to the shooting of a recognizable deer often seen in Hollywood Cemetery known as the Hollywood Buck. Police arrested 36-year-old Jason Walters of Richmond yesterday and charged him with 19 separate wildlife violations related to the illegal killing of 3 deer, including the Hollywood Buck. Those charges include illegal possession of wildlife, trespassing, failing to check and tag a deer, and littering. The investigation, spanning several weeks, began in December when Walter shared photos of himself with the deer that has unique antlers. He claimed to have shot it in Prince Edward County, but people on social media recognized the deer and alerted authorities.
Police say the body of a man who went missing earlier this month near Lake Gaston has now been found. Virginia State Police say 61-year-old Army veteran William Butch Bateman was last seen riding a golf cart on January 9th in a severe storm. That golf cart was found the next day, and on Sunday, Bateman's body was found near the Tanglewood Recreation Area and boat ramp. Bateman was known to be a good friend to those in the community around Lake Gaston. His friend Cliff Blackburn told CBS 6, quote, "Butch was a fun-loving man, and that if he had $1 in his pocket, he would always try to spend it on someone else."
For months, CBS 6's Melissa Hippolyte has been reporting on financial issues with the Office of Emergency Medical Services. With a multi-million-dollar budget shortfall, they said was due to financial irregularities. Now officials who oversee the department have just revealed just how much money they're talking about and how they plan to make up the difference. Our Cameron Thompson is live at the state capitol with more on that story. Cam?
Yeah, and Julie, officials with the Virginia Department of Health say they are looking to fill in a shortfall of $33 million for several factors over several years. And among those factors, they say, is potential fraud now being investigated by state and federal agencies.
It was found that the Office of EMS had a $33.3 million overcommitment.
Setting bookkeeping that wasn't allowed and potential fraud, Virginia Department of Health Commissioner Dr. Karen Shelton updates state lawmakers on financial problems within one of her departments while asking for help to fix it.
This is to make up for some of the shortfalls that we've had through the Office of EMS.
Prompted by money missing for a payment last June, Shelton says they found the Office of Emergency Medical Services, or OEMS, was $33 million in the red because of several years of mismanagement.
There was a history of moving funds between the buckets, which was not prescribed by code, that was covering shortfalls. There were services that were being provided that did not have appropriate funding, and there was an overspending of contracts.
Shelton says that moving of funds kept the issue from being discovered, but adds there was little oversight from VDH. Shelton adds the investigation has revealed potential fraud that's being investigated by state and federal agencies.
When you have a failure of this magnitude, there are probably several different things at play, but I can't comment into all of the specifics at this time.
The shortfalls have been felt by EMS departments around Virginia as the state has canceled training symposiums, frozen payments, and paused grant funding. Shelton says VDH has taken several steps to address the problems found. As for the $33 million, Governor Glenn Youngkin approved a one-time $8 million left over from the last fiscal year and is proposing the rest be covered by an additional $25 million in his proposed two-year budget that's usually earmarked for general funds. When asked why the public should have faith in VDH going forward, Shelton says she understands there are concerns.
There was a structure in place that did not have appropriate oversight, and so we have corrected that at this time. So we now have better oversight in place, as well as additional stopgaps to make sure that this will not happen.
Among those with concerns, Delegate Irene Shin, who wrote to VDH in October, citing CBS 6's reporting, asking for more information. In response to VDH's presentations, she told CBS 6 in a statement that it doesn't provide the clarity she demands and says Virginia taxpayers are being asked to backfill a shortfall without an accurate accounting of where the millions of dollars went. Adding, quote, "We're talking about essential medical services. Virginians demand answers."
And among those steps that VDH says they are taking to address this from happening again in the future is bringing together a work group of stakeholders guiding OEMS's future and contracting a national firm to employ best practices. At the state capitol, Cameron Thompson, CBS 6 News.
It's now been several months since Chesterfield County ended its public curbside recycling program, requiring residents to sign up with private haulers if they wanted to recycle. As our Tyler Lane reports, county leaders are cautiously optimistic about the recycling activity they're now seeing, but not everyone is happy with the direction the county is taking.
In the back of Huguenot Park, you'll hear the sound of waste being diverted from the landfill.
I feel like this is a good thing, and if it helps the environment, and I just wish that people would do what they should do.
Miss Linda Roberts takes multiple visits to the park to drop off her recyclables.
At least weekly, more if I have more, and I love it. I love this.
The county added these bins a few months ago after cutting its public curbside recycling program through the Central Virginia Waste Management Authority, or CVWMA, which used to cost residents $40 per year. Now, families have to subscribe to a private hauler for curbside for double or even triple the price. However, the county says that's still cheaper than what its preferred contract through the CVWMA would have cost.
It just doesn't make any sense. Costs have gone up. The reporting has disappeared, at least from the CVWMA site, and the numbers that Chesterfield has provided to you suggest that there hasn't been an improvement in recycling.
The county government posted a blog saying its new approach to recycling is estimated to outperform what it collected through CVWMA in prior years, more than 13,000 tons. So we asked to see the data. The numbers were provided by the private haulers, and they show between July and October of last year, Chesterfield collected 5.9 million pounds of recycled materials through curbside. but that's a much lower number than the previous year. In the same time frame in 2022, CVWMA collected 8.1 million pounds in Chesterfield. CVWMA had 62,000 participating households, while the private companies have 46,000 households.
Were you expecting to see a lower number in curbside recycling?
It was, because once we announced that we were transitioning away from CVWMA, we saw a downtick in the number of subscribers.
But to supplement that decrease, Chesterfield General Services Director John Neal says the county added free recycling options at public parks and expanded the hours at convenience centers, which he says are seeing significant traffic.
I think the numbers are strong overall for the community, and with the options that are available, we're on track to continue to be a leader in recycling in the region.
CVWMA says after Chesterfield pulled out of its curbside program, it saw a 17% drop in recycled items. But in other participating localities, collection is actually up by 15%, partly thanks to bigger bins in Henrico, Hanover, and Goochland, they say.
It just seems to me that Chesterfield County, instead of saying, okay, we'll make this private and we'll substitute some other places that are a little bit less convenient, maybe they could have said, hey, what can we do to increase participation?
Now, the county says it needs to see a full year's worth of data before making any type of official determination on the effectiveness of its initiatives. On the other hand, though, CVWMA says it doesn't make any type of projections at all because of too many unpredictable factors that could impact people's participation in recycling. In Chesterfield, I'm Tyler Lane, CBS 6 News.
New at 5, Chesterfield County held a ribbon cutting today to mark the official opening of the new Midlothian Library on Millworks Crossing, and CBS 6 got a tour of the facility. The 25,000 square foot building is nearly 2/3 larger than the older library that was on the same site before closing in 2021. Some new features in the new library include a large community meeting room, interactive indoor learning features for kids, a digital media center, outdoor reading garden, and an outdoor learning classroom with musical sculptures. It's a renovation the library's assistant director, Carolyn Jensen, said was needed.
This library particularly is something that is very, very valued by the Midlothian community. The Midlothian Library is one of our highest usage libraries in terms of circulation, reference questions, and use of the space. And the old space was just not large enough or modern enough to accommodate the community's needs.
The new library also incorporates the community's past. A lobby mural created by artist Matt Lively showcases the history of the Midlothian coal mines.
The dangers faced by roadside workers. New data showing the number of roadside assistance providers killed by passing vehicles is nearly 4 times more than reported. AAA's recommendations on how to curb these types of fatal crashes just ahead.
It's been over 2 days since someone drove their car off the end of a Virginia Beach fishing pier. The latest on what happened and the efforts to retrieve the vehicle from the ocean.
Well, a sunny day, but a chilly day today as January weather has returned to the region. I'll show you when we'll get our next chance for any precipitation when the News at 5 continues.
Are you struggling with addiction? Are you tired of being tired? Do you feel like life is unmanageable?
Addiction affects every facet of our lives. The Fresh Start program was developed to not only help one recover from addiction, but also prepare you with the tools to successfully integrate back into the community.
It's time for a fresh start. Contact Atlantic Outreach Group today and get back to being your best self.
Please, let us help.
Good to see you, Jenny. Have you been brushing?
Jenny, are you brushing your teeth again?
So, Jen, I hear you had a visit from the Tooth Fairy.
Uh-huh.
Jen, those braces look great. They'll be off before you know it.
Welcome back, Jennifer.
We've been with you since the beginning. At Virginia Family Dentistry, every smile tells a story.
All right, I'm in the house.
Okay, what do you see?
Nothing yet. Hold on, I think I just heard something. I'm heading upstairs.
Okay, I am almost there.
I'm in the bedroom.
Okay.
Oh, shit. It's not here.
What?
The gun's not here.
What do you mean? Where is it?
Cameron? Are you in there? Open the door. Cam! Come on, Cameron.
I taught for 20 years, but I started forgetting my lectures. Eventually, he had to quit. The early Alzheimer's diagnosis allowed us to take control of the situation.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Look at it. Look at Max. Oh, Max, you broke it. No, don't do that. Bad boy.
Find out what we're made of. When we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3. I'll be there.
Virginia Beach police are still working to pull a car out of the ocean after a driver drove off the end of a pier Saturday. Danielle Seda from our sister station in Norfolk explains their first attempt on Sunday didn't work and what their plan is next.
On Sunday, people watched as a crane, barge, and tugboat tried to bring that car to the surface, but it was unsuccessful due to water conditions. On Monday, I learned what the new plan is for the recovery crews. Police showed me sonar images of the car, which is on its roof. Authorities say water conditions and the car's weight make it hard to resurface. Sergeant Brian Ricardo with the Special Operations Bureau of the Virginia Beach Police Department says rough waters pose a danger to recovery crews.
If the car is full of water, which we expect because it's not floating, you're going to add, exponentially a lot more depending on what's inside the car. We just don't know until we get the car up.
Police say they're planning to be back out on the water either Thursday or Friday this week. Reporting in Virginia Beach, I'm Danielle Seda, News 3.
Whenever you have car trouble on the road, roadside assistance providers often come to the rescue. But a new study by AAA is revealing just how dangerous the job is for those workers. That recent study revealed 123 tow truck drivers, mobile mechanics, emergency roadside technicians, and safety service patrols were fatally struck on the job between 2015 and 2021, nearly 4 times the government estimates. The data also shows the vast majority of the fatal crashes occurred in areas where the speed limit was 55 miles per hour or higher and in good weather without slippery conditions. And while nearly 2/3 occurred in darkness, a notable 34% happened in broad daylight.
In nearly 2/3 of the crashes, the vehicle that was involved in the crash had already started to depart their lane. And so this really speaks to factors such as distraction, fatigue, impairment as being involved in these sorts of crashes.
Many of these occupational fatalities are unspecified in crash reports or recorded as pedestrian deaths, but AAA says the right data is critical to improving worker safety.
Why did the moose cross the road? Look at this big old guy. He brought traffic to a halt in Anchorage, Alaska yesterday. You see him first walking through that deep snow on the side of the road before slowly making his way across. The National Weather Service forecasted up to 13 inches of additional snow in the area yesterday into today. Anchorage is known to be one of the best places to see moose, with wildlife officials estimating that 1,500 wild moose live in and around the city. He's just like, you guys can wait for me. Do my thing.
Yeah, reminds me of somebody.
Oh yeah? Somebody that's a little smaller and maybe a yellow lab?
Yeah, everything is on his watch. He's he plays ball when he needs to and then doesn't when he doesn't need to, I guess, according to him. And we'll see how he cooperates over the next 3 minutes or so. But he had a good stretch of weather, the really nice weather that I think we all enjoyed for at least that 3-day stretch. And now it feels like January again with temperatures in the 40s. Let me show you what we've got outside right now. The current temperature here in Richmond is 50 degrees. So we did actually make it in the 50s, and with sunshine, turned out to be a really nice day. We have a north breeze running at about 12 miles an hour, and other temperatures are mostly in the upper 40s, low 50s. The coolest reading is 44 out in Kilmarnock, while we have 52 degrees. Looks like that's the warmest spot down in South Hill right now. Okay, let's check out what we have through our Diamond Cam. A lot of blue sky out there, and that is the case across most of Virginia. Not much happening around the region, just a couple of little snow showers, a little bit of mixed precipitation back in parts of West Virginia. Our next storm system is this area of low pressure. It is right along the Canadian provinces of Manitoba and Ontario, and it's going to continue to move south and east and provide the Great Lakes with some snow showers, and into Virginia some light rain and maybe a little bit of snow back to our west a bit early on Wednesday. Here's that 3-day stretch I was talking about. I need to remind you, I'm sure most folks, it caught their attention. Last Wednesday 71, then 71 also on Thursday, and on Friday 78. And we stayed mild on Saturday as well, 65, and then we got the reality check yesterday with the drizzle and just 48. Temperatures tonight will be dropping into the upper 20s to right around 30 degrees, very normal for this time of the year. And as we get into tomorrow, expect highs in the mid to upper 40s. Again, very typical for the end of January. We'll have some sunshine to start the day tomorrow, but I expect increasing clouds. It's not going to be beautiful tomorrow afternoon like it is right now. We will have mostly cloudy skies at this time tomorrow. Rest of tonight, skies will stay mostly clear, and we'll have some sunshine early tomorrow before clouds start to build in. So it looks like mostly cloudy skies by afternoon and evening, but dry until we get into early Wednesday. A few sprinkles around here, a little bit more of a consistent light rain back to our south and west, and some snow showers once you get out in the far western Piedmont. As we get into the end of Wednesday, still some lingering clouds, but everything clears out. And Thursday looks to be a good day with high temperatures back up into the 50s. Probably a very similar day to what we had for today. All right, looking at what we've done so far in January, we are now in the top 10 wettest Januaries on record with 5.76 inches. This last system brought us a little bit more than an inch. So we're sitting at the number 9 spot right now. Probably not going to climb any higher than this. What's also impressive is when you add in last month, which was the wettest December on record, we are at about the number 7 spot for wettest winters. And winters, meteorologically speaking, is the month period of December, January, and February, those 3 months. So we got one more month to add to it, and we're already at number 7. All right, looking at our highs over the next 7 days, again, we'll jump up Thursday and Friday before we cool down once again. And really the only rain chance I see right now is on Wednesday. There's a hint of a system coming in over the weekend, but it looks like it's going to be mainly to the south, at least right now. That's how it looks. All right, pretty typical stuff as we switch the calendar from January into February.
Thank you, Zach. Several airlines are getting into the spirit of the Super Bowl. United and Americans have numbered their flights to the host city of Las Vegas after some of the Chiefs and 49ers. Just ahead, we'll share some of those designations and what they mean.
Celebrating the winter season in Chesterfield, what's planned for the county's upcoming Snowball Festival? That's ahead at 5:30.
Are you struggling with addiction? Are you tired of being tired? Do you feel like life is unmanageable?
Addiction affects every facet of our lives. The Fresh Start program was developed to not only help one recover from addiction, but also prepare you with the tools to successfully integrate back into the community.
It's time for a fresh start. Contact Atlantic Outreach Group today and get back to being your best self.
Please, let us help.
Brighten your morning with Tom Patton. CBS 6 This Morning. Weekdays 4:30 to 7.
My name's Mark. I'm an alcoholic.
Dorothy T., and I am an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. My name is Victoria. My journey in AA started years ago when I reached the outside limits of my desperation.
And then these people, just gathered around me. That was the fellowship in action.
If I carry any sort of message with my story, it's that, keep coming back and that this thing does work.
If you have a problem with alcohol, contact AA. It works.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops.
score, going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
Kevin, I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
The airline industry is getting ready for the Super Bowl as the matchup becomes official with the Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers. United and American Airlines have added flights between Kansas City and the host city of Las Vegas. On United, you could take flights 1995 and 1849. 1995 was the last time the 49ers won the Super Bowl, and 1849 is the year United says was the original California Gold Rush, which is what the team's name is inspired by. There's also a nod to Taylor Swift and her relationship with Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. Both airlines added flight number 1989, which is the name of a Swift album. Chiefs QB Patrick Mahomes also has 3 flights in honor of his number 15 jersey, departing at various times between the two cities. All those numbers would just go over my head. I never pay attention to my flight number except when I need to look it up on the board.
And find it, yeah. But everybody's getting Super Bowl fever now. And of course, you can watch the Super Bowl on Sunday, February 11th, right here on CBS 6, which is also the only station in the Richmond region with local sports coverage for you. Speaking of which, the 3rd annual RVA Sports Awards is happening this weekend. It's recognition for some of the best athletes and teams in the region voted on by fans. Join CBS 6 Sports Director Lane Casadante and local personality Kelly Lemon as they co-host the awards show. Watch live this Saturday, February 3rd, starting at 7:30 p.m. right here on CBS 6.
Changes are coming to the Petersburg Fire Department after several tough years of equipment issues, staffing shortages, and a lack of leadership. Improvements are being made. How firefighters are feeling about this new era for the department, that's next.
Today is the first official day of tax filing season. Just ahead, our Joe St. George explains a new tax system now available to some Americans and why you might want to wait a few days to file your taxes.
Are you struggling with addiction? Are you tired of being tired? Do you feel like life is unmanageable?
Addiction affects every facet of our lives. The Fresh Start program was developed to not only help one recover from addiction, but also prepare you with the tools to successfully integrate back into the community.
It's time for a fresh start. Contact Atlantic Outreach Group today and get back to being your best self.
Please, let us help.
We're spending less time behind that desk and in this studio because our office is out here where we can hear your voice and tell your stories.
Of the countless stories I covered, I couldn't forget Talisha's.
Why is the community perhaps more reluctant today?
People are afraid.
I feel connected to these women, even though it's statues.
Thank you for interviewing me.
You're welcome.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. I can't lie and say it was easy. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more than
who I am on paper.
We ended up talking to a family of 5. that literally went from tragedy to triumph because of a house fire.
In less than 15 minutes, everything is burnt and gone.
And how American Red Cross stepped in to comfort that family.
I was just wanting to make sure he was going to be okay, or at that moment he had somebody. I just never thought that it meant that much to anybody.
Let me tell you about a voice. Not this voice.
It's the mom in Chesterfield.
Construction worker in Emporia.
Nurse in Richmond.
I'm a straight A student in Petersburg.
Little leaguer in Powhatan.
El dueño de negocio in Chester.
College student in Farmville.
Bus driver in Goochland.
And a firefighter in Prince George.
At CBS 6, we amplify your voice and tell your story.
I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go.
CBS 6 News at 5:30 starts now.
For Petersburg firefighters, the past few years have been tough between constant equipment breakdowns, critical firefighter shortages, and a lack of leadership. Thanks for joining us for the news at 5:30. I'm Julie Bragg.
I'm Cheryl Miller. Now the department is on a rebound with some major changes. As CBS 6 senior reporter Wayne Koval explains, it's a fresh start that includes new equipment and new opportunity.
This is a bird's eye view of Petersburg Fire Department's new to them ladder truck being put through its paces.
Just a probationary firefighter.
For 20-year-old Nick Booth,
this is my second week.
It's also his first opportunity to train with the new equipment.
I just climbed the tiller ladder all the way up to the top.
That's 100 feet.
It was pretty fun.
On this day, the former recruits are now gaining more hands-on experience. Monday morning's training comes as the fire department is beginning to see light after several tumultuous years.
It's hard to describe. We've been used to doing more with less anyway, and it's just the last 24 months have been really rough.
Captain Smith truly believes those tough times are now behind the department.
For me, today is an exciting time. We've got a brand new engine. We've got the new tiller truck. We've got a lot of good things going for us.
And there are several reasons behind the positivity. First, 10 graduates of the recent recruit school are now running calls.
Our staffing levels are at an all-time low.
The department is now in a third application process, working to fill 14 empty slots.
The staffing issues have been really hard on guys. We've been burnt out, didn't even really realize we were burnt out.
While the application process is open to everyone, the department is also looking for pre-qualified, career-experienced firefighters who can quickly move into a position after a short recruit school.
I think by the end of the year, absolutely, we're looking to have every position filled.
A new 2023 Pierce fire engine just recently went into service, and this new to the department tiller ladder truck expected to be in service within a few weeks.
Looking also again with the city, with their help, is we're looking to place an order for maybe one, maybe another 2 fire trucks in this budget year.
For the firefighters,
everybody now is either wearing brand new gear or only gear that's a few years old with secondary gear that is serviceable and ready to go.
This is my first time in my 12 years being here that I've got 2 brand new sets of gear. I'm very excited that I can switch out when as needed.
The department also getting all new hose for every fire engine, along with new nozzles and specialty hand tools. For this young firefighter, it's all about the future.
I'm hoping to stay here long term, give me some seniority here, I guess. But yeah, I don't plan on leaving Petersburg at all. I'm loving it so far. I love the city.
A lot of the new smaller equipment has already been ordered. The fire department just waiting for it to be shipped. The department is also in the middle of a promotions process, which should wrap up in the next few weeks. In Petersburg, Wayne Koval, CBS 6 News.
A man is recovering with apparently only minor injuries after falling 40 feet down a manhole in Richmond. First responders got that call around 5 a.m. today from inside the Southern State silos, which are fenced off and set to be demolished. Battalion Chief Bailey Martin tells us the man had a phone with him and was able to call for help, but it took more than an hour for crews to locate and finally rescue him. A CBS 6 crew was on scene for that rescue and saw the man walk to an ambulance. Battalion Chief Martin says a regional team trains regularly for these types of incidents because, though infrequent, they have the potential to be life-threatening. Battalion Chief Martin also wants to warn people stay away from these silos because they are no longer active work zones and they still are not safe.
These structures there maybe haven't been fully decommissioned, but a lot of times this building is very dangerous in itself.
One thing that Richmond Fire wants you to keep in mind as well, especially if you spend a lot of downtime by the river, is the importance of having the city's What 3 Words app. It allows fire crews to determine an exact location within a 10 by 10 square, making it easier to locate you.
Oh, I didn't know about that app.
I didn't either. I'll have to download that.
Yeah. All right, let's get a check on the weather. Not a bad day out there. Chief Meteorologist Zach Daniels got his sport coat on, but no heavy coat.
No, don't need it today. A lot of sunshine. We made it into the 50s, and hey, here we are about a few minutes after 5:30, and we still have light out here as these daylight hours are getting longer, as we're still in winter, of course, but now starting to get on the downhill slide towards spring. Let me show you what we've got outside right now. And currently skies are cloud-free around here. It's been a beautiful day today with lots of sunshine. Has some clouds once you get in state to our north and west, and still a few snow showers out in West Virginia, but nothing for us. Our temperatures are in the 40s to right around 50 degrees. It's as cool as 44 over in Kilmarnock. And about 52 degrees is on the high end down in the South Hill area. Looking at what will happen over the next 12 hours, expect temperatures to dip down below freezing by morning, as you would expect for this time of the year. Here's a look at your forecast. For tonight, mostly clear skies, a low temperature of 29. And as we get into tomorrow, a little different than today. It'll be cooler for one, and that'll be due in part to the fact that we'll have clouds increasing. So we won't have the cloud-free skies that we have right now and have had this afternoon. We'll have some sunshine in the morning, but increasing clouds in the afternoon ahead of the next storm system. I'll show you when we could have a little rain from that in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Zach. It's official. Today marks the first day of tax season. If you know you owe money, or you will, you may be dreading this. But if the government owes you something, you may be eager to get the process going.
Well, before you go back to the same site or accountant, you may want to listen to this. The IRS has launched a new free direct file system for 2024. Our Joe St. George explains why you should use it or skip it this year.
Well, welcome to tax season. Maybe you love it, maybe you dread it. Regardless, for many Americans, filing your taxes can be expensive. Tax software, accountants, well, sometimes those fees aren't cheap. This year, though, for some Americans, the IRS has a brand new option, a free direct filing service. But as we found out, it isn't for everyone. Maybe you like using tax software, or maybe you like your longtime accountant. However you file your taxes, you should at least know that a new option is on the table soon. This year, the IRS is launching a new direct file system, a government-built free way to submit your tax info to the IRS. But it's not available yet to everybody. In fact, this year it's only being offered to Americans in these 12 states. It's expected to be fully online for them by mid-March. But even if you do live in an eligible state, you might want to think twice before waiting to use it. That's because the IRS site, for the moment, doesn't include all credits or deductions. For instance, you can deduct student loan interest, but you can't deduct an electric vehicle tax credit. You can submit a W-2, but if you're an independent contractor, you cannot submit your 1099. Scripps News asked the IRS why it is so limited. Officials told us the new direct filing site this year is just a pilot and is designed to be intentionally small for now. They still believe hundreds of thousands of Americans with simple tax information can benefit from it. Waiting for this new IRS site to launch may be just one reason to wait and file this year. In Congress, there remains a chance of a bipartisan tax bill passing in the coming days, which would impact how much some Americans get back. If you file right now and the legislation passes, it may take longer for you to receive money that you're entitled to. Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
A new study spells out just how expensive daycare has become for so many families. Care.com estimates that 47% of parents spend up to 18 grand a year on childcare costs, which is now almost the cost of a year of college tuition. The company says federal dollars for childcare programs, which were allocated during the pandemic, are drying up. By and large, new daycares aren't opening up, and a decent percentage of parents are being forced to leave the workforce because of the skyrocketing costs. A mom of two, Karina Aponte, doesn't make enough to afford childcare, trapping her in a catch-22.
I 100% feel hopeless. I feel stuck every day, all day. I'm stressed out. If I could afford the daycare, I could work longer hours. I could, do more things for her and my son.
But Care.com says there is some hope for parents. There's a bipartisan effort to expand the child tax credit moving through Congress. It's been overwhelmingly approved in the House and is now moving through the Senate.
When you're feeling stressed or sad, do you find yourself grabbing a sweet treat? Well, emotional eating is common, but experts say you should snack with caution. Ahead, all new at 5:30, how you can tell whether you're eating for comfort or hunger, and how you can gain some control over the habit.
Plus, mixing high-altitude living with low-altitude training. Learn how a specialized chamber is helping Olympic hopefuls in Colorado train for the Olympic marathon trial in Orlando. Plus, an epic discovery on an exoplanet, what NASA says the Hubble has found 97 light years from Earth.
Are you struggling with addiction? Are you tired of being tired? Do you feel like life is unmanageable?
Addiction affects every facet of our lives. The Fresh Start program was developed to not only help one recover from addiction, but also prepare you with the tools to successfully integrate back into the community.
It's time for a fresh start. Contact Atlantic Outreach Group today and get back to being your best self.
Please, let us help.
Most of the time, banking hasn't been for people like us. We work regular jobs, make regular wages, and have regular credit scores. We're not financial experts. We make mistakes every now and then. And when we do, banks make us pay the price. At Langley, everyone gets a fair shake. Financial products designed for regular people. That's only fair. That's Langley. That's banking for the rest of us.
I believe if all of us gave a little something, wow, how we could change this world.
So you guys won't believe this. Mr. Clarence G is okay.
I just want to give him the biggest hug.
God bless you, baby. I feel a lot better out here walking than at home sitting in the rocker.
I'm trying to show the world that anything is possible in life if you put your mind into it.
I hope they hear my spirit. I hope to make people feel so happy.
I'm a wife, a sister,
and a grandfather.
I'm an office clerk.
I'm a research analyst,
dance fitness instructor,
actor.
I'm a copywriter.
I'm a veteran.
I have lupus,
cerebral palsy.
I'm blind.
And I'm working in a job I love.
Because I was given a chance
to contribute my skills and talents.
To show that my disability
is only one part of who I am.
Who I am.
Who I am.
At work, it's what people can do that matters.
For more information, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
All right, boys, tonight's the night we've been waiting for. We got 10 minutes on that countdown clock. Remember when it had 215 days up there? It's go time. Coming together, picking each other up for a single cause.
Thanks for bearing with me there. Whether you're sad or stressed, emotional eating is common in the United States. When you're upset, you may find yourself wanting something salty or sweet. But while indulging those cravings can bring comfort, Psychologist Leslie Heinberg with Cleveland Clinic says eating your feelings away is only a temporary fix.
Emotional eating tends to be very specific. You are hungry for cookies. You are not hungry for anything that somebody would put in front of you. The problem is still there, but people might feel guilty or feel bad about how much they ate or what they ate.
Heinberg says true hunger doesn't go away. It gets worse over time. You may feel shaky, have a grumbling stomach. She says if you suspect a craving you're having is based on your emotions, distract yourself for 20 minutes. Take a shower, go for a walk, do an activity that won't allow you to eat. Then if you're still hungry, go ahead and find a snack. But she says a lot of people will find the craving has passed. If you do indulge, Heinberg says enjoy it rather than just scarfing it down. And then don't beat yourself up about it or try to make up for it by skipping a meal. Heinberg says it's helpful to have healthy snacks on hand that are easy to turn to when you do face a feeling that triggers a craving for comfort food.
I eat to make the cravings go away. Well, NASA says it's found water on an exoplanet 97 light years away from Earth. Astronomers used the Hubble Space Telescope to detect water molecules in the small blazing hot planet's atmosphere. That planet is roughly twice Earth's diameter, but still the smallest exoplanet found to have water vapor in its atmosphere. Temperatures there can reach 800 degrees Fahrenheit, making it very unlikely that there's any kind of life existing there. Still, it's a landmark discovery. It gets researchers closer to understanding worlds that have characteristics similar to Earth, such as the presence of water.
Yeah, I'm thinking I couldn't do 800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, you don't like it hot.
No.
I think I could bear it.
Cheryl's looking for an 800 degree forecast.
Yeah, I can't dial that up. Although in late January when it's 78 degrees, it kind of feels like it's blazing hot. It was a very unusual day that we had last Friday, and now we've kind of seen a return to normalcy, as you knew would happen. We have very typical weather now for late January. Let me show you what we've got outside at the moment, and the temperature here is 50 degrees. We have clear skies, a north breeze at 12 miles an hour, and looking at other temperatures around the area, they're mostly in the mid to upper 40s or right around 50 degrees. Not a whole lot of variation here across the Commonwealth. Let's check out the view through our Sky Tracker Diamond Cam. The skies are clear there, and there's a look from space down on the planet, and you can see nothing going on around Virginia. Back to our north, there are some clouds, parts of Pennsylvania, back into West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Here's the next storm system for us. It's a quick-moving, upper-level, low-pressure center, and right now it's right on the border of Manitoba and Ontario. It's moving south and east pretty quickly, and you can see it's producing a little bit of precipitation, not much, but it'll bring a little light rainfall to the area as we get into early Wednesday, maybe a little bit of light snow out in the western Piedmont. All right, here's a look back at what we did last week. Again, we had that run, 71 back-to-back days, Wednesday and Thursday, and then we capped it off with an amazing day on Friday, a high of 78 degrees. Still good on Saturday with a high of 65, and then we got that reality check yesterday, not just 48, but 48 and drizzle. All right, lows for tonight are going to be in the upper 20s to right around 30, very typical for this time of the year. And tomorrow, a chilly day. It'll be cooler than today, and we won't have the sunshine that we had this afternoon. We'll have some sun in the morning, but I expect increasing clouds by afternoon. This time tomorrow will likely be overcast. So let's look at that forecast for the area. And again, increasing clouds throughout the day, light winds out of the east-southeast, and a high of 48 degrees. Rest of tonight, skies will stay mostly clear. Tomorrow, some sun early, but then clouds move in the afternoon. And tomorrow night, we'll start to see the rain coming in. Now, this will be light, very light. Most areas less than 1/10 of an inch here across central Virginia. A little bit more possible back to our south and west, and even a couple snow showers, especially along and west of that 29 corridor that runs from Charlottesville down through Lynchburg and Danville. And then as we get into the rest of Wednesday, we'll just have partly cloudy skies with clearing skies getting into Thursday. Thursday looks to be a really good day, not that different from today. A lot of sunshine and highs back up into the 50s. All right, we're going to cap off this January going in the record books. Looks like we're going to be the number 9, that's where we stand right now, the number 9 wettest January on record. I don't think we're going to add too much more. We might jump to the number 8 spot with that Wednesday morning. But overall, I think that we're going to stay at the number 9 spot. That's still a top 10 wettest January on record. That's saying something. All right, over the next week, We'll jump up in the 50s Thursday and Friday, but back down a little below normal heading into the weekend. And there's the one rain chance we have in there over the next week. It appears just that chance on Wednesday. The rest of the way looks pretty typical for flipping the calendar from January into February.
Thank you, Zach. This Saturday, the country's best distance runners will be hitting the streets in Orlando for a chance to go to the Olympics.
And right now, the potential Olympic athletes are training for that big day. Some in Colorado are getting high performance help. Outside, it's cold and snowy, but inside a specialized chamber, the temperature, humidity, and altitude feels like Orlando. The chamber gives runners the ability to train in conditions that are the worst case scenario of what they may face at the trials.
So you've got to be able to train your body and your mind to be able to be like, okay, this is what it's going to feel on the day of the race, and how could I prepare for that?
As much preparation you do physically, you have to be mentally ready to endure any possible scenario.
This training has been going on now for several months, and doctors say it's important to simulate the lower altitude because if you've been training in the high altitude of Colorado and then try to run in Orlando, there's a good chance of overdoing it because the higher oxygen levels make it feel easy. While these runners are hoping to make it to Paris in just 6 months, they say just making it to the Olympic marathon trials carries its own prestige.
It sure does. All right, still ahead, free family fun in the sun and snow. The winter activities for all ages you'll find at Chesterfield County's Snowball Festival.
Demand for backup power is at an all-time high. Time and time again, we're seeing grid failure nationwide. People are concerned they can't rely on the grid when they need power the most. Your home is your sanctuary. Controlling your power starts with a free estimate. Don't let the grid let you down. Call today.
Get peace of mind and protect your home from power outages with a Generac automatic standby generator from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. Call today for a free estimate.
I know we've seen like dozens of houses, but I have a good feeling about this one.
No problem. Lots of families are very specific in what they want.
Honestly, I like the other ones, but he's a little harder to please.
Well, you'll notice that in this one, the floors have just been refinished, and wait till you see that kitchen, brand new appliances.
Seems perfect for us. We'll just have to wait and see what the verdict is.
Look, honey, look, it's the Window World logo. All the windows in this house are Window World windows.
We'll take it.
Window World, America's exterior remodeler.
Everything we are starts with you. Our hopes.
I loved him as a person because he got more heart than anybody.
Our tragedies.
We just received information the suspect is in custody.
It's going to take a community to heal.
Where we've been.
My mother never quit talking about Jack.
And where we're going next.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
We ended up talking to a family of 5 that literally went from tragedy to triumph because of a house fire.
In less than 15 minutes, everything is burnt and gone.
And how American Red Cross stepped in to comfort that family.
I was just wanting to make sure he was going to be okay, or at that moment he had somebody. I just never thought that it meant that much to anybody.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakovic, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. My service never stops.
In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done to make that choice to continue to love.
Chesterfield County is celebrating the subjectively best part of the season with a snowball festival. You're invited out to have a snow-amazing time at the River City Sportsplex, featuring a synthetic ice skating rink, a giant snowman bounce house, and a snow maze, plus hot food and hot drink vendors on site, including Rosie's Kitchen, Travel and Tom's Coffee, and Kona Ice. And if it actually feels like winter, a heated tent for dining. The festivities are happening on February the 10th. It's a Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the best part, it's all free.
Now, if Mother Nature doesn't play along, are they going to provide snow?
No, I like it when they do that. You know how they can make it out of little bubbles, but it looks like snow, like blow on the snow?
Yeah, maybe. I'm sure they thought about it.
Snow globe. Turning the whole thing into a snow globe.
Why not?
It works.
What's coming up at 6?
He's alive thanks to bystanders who sprang into action. New at 6, Sports Director Lane Casadante talks to a marathon runner who collapsed on the race course from a heart attack. The message he hopes his reunion with his survivors sends.
It's now been several months since Chesterfield switched to a private recycling company. What the county says now about the reduced quantity that residents have been turning in.
And we continue to follow the latest developments in the killing of the famous Hollywood cemetery deer, the charges the suspect faces.
GRTC now offers a one-seat ride from downtown Richmond to Chesterfield Town Center and beyond. Starting now, your ride goes a whole lot further.
Everything we are starts with you. Our dreams.
I just can't believe this.
Peace. Smiles.
Continues to melt my heart.
And trials.
How do you explain to a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, mommy has cancer?
Our compassion for those in need.
I believe my daughter's out there somewhere. I just want to know what happened to my son.
I'm Chris Jackimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. My service never stops.
There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey.
If alcohol builds a wall around you, know this. We're here to help if you want us to. It's never too early or too late to ask for help with a drinking problem. Alcoholics Anonymous. There is a way out.
Are you struggling with addiction? Are you tired of being tired? Do you feel like life is unmanageable?
Addiction affects every facet of our lives. The Fresh Start program was developed to not only help one recover from addiction, but also prepare you with the tools to successfully integrate back into the community.
It's time for a fresh start. Contact Atlantic Outreach Group today and get back to being your best self.
Please, let us help.
In an emergency, doctors may face impossible choices. Who gets a life-saving blood transfusion and who must wait? Because of you, life doesn't stop. Donate blood. Make your appointment today at Vitalant.org.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to have my seat?
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
CBS 6 News at 6 starts with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news out of Henrico tonight, where police say a 17-year-old is responsible for a hit-and-run crash that left a man dead early this morning. I'm Bill Fitzgerald.
And I'm Janine Samuels. Our Elizabeth Holmes is live to tell us what happened and what charges the teen is facing. Good evening, Liz.
Janine, yes, police say that the driver was a 17-year-old who was driving westbound here on Staples Mill Road at this intersection. He was driving with a fake ID. They say he hit a pedestrian in this intersection and then traveled about 2 miles up the road until he was apprehended by police. Police do say that alcohol was a factor in this crash. The teen has now been charged with a DUI and is facing several other charges as well. It's the site of Henrico County's first fatal hit-and-run reported in 2024, Staples Mill Road and Bremner Boulevard. Police say a 17-year-old driving under the influence with a fake ID struck a pedestrian around 2 a.m. there and fled. He was later arrested and now faces a slew of charges, including felony hit-and-run and involuntary manslaughter. The victim is 27-year-old Andre Antonio Masado of New Jersey.
That area of Staples Mill is just really unsafe.
That's Natalie Rayner's reaction to it all. She's a cyclist who was hit by a driver who was under the influence in Henrico County over a year ago.
Anytime a person is hit by a vehicle, it is a tragedy. And unfortunately, it will continue to happen as long as our neighborhoods are not built for safety of pedestrians in mind.
She's advocating for better pedestrian safety measures at busy intersections like this one.
Just having sidewalks does not make it safe for people to ride bikes, and it doesn't make it safe for people to cross the street. And when you have really wide intersections with no crosswalks, drivers just aren't paying attention. They're not expecting pedestrians.
It's something Henrico County is aware of.
So if you're out in the evening, a lot of times pedestrians are having to cross the street, either mid-block or, at the intersection, and a lot of those are dark. So that's been part of the challenge.
Henrico is working on installing pedestrian signals and more lighting, already fully funded by the county, but has to go through VDOT for state-maintained roads like Staples Mill.
Coincidentally, those are also the highest volume roads. They're also the roads with the most commercial activity. And unfortunately, they're the roads with the most pedestrian safety issues.
These projects will likely take years to complete. Rayner is begging everyone to be mindful before then.
It's hard to convince people to care about total strangers, but at the end of the day, we all have somewhere where we need to be. We're all equal. We all have a right to use these roads to get from point A to point B, and we have to work together in order to keep our neighborhoods safe.
Now, the driver is now in a juvenile detention center here in Henrico County, and both Rayner and the county want people to remember the WHOA campaign. That stands for Watch Out Ahead Henrico. It is reminding drivers to be safe when we are out on these roads. In Henrico County, I'm Elizabeth Holmes, CBS 6 News.
Thank you, Liz. It has been more than 2 days since someone drove off the end of a fishing pier at the Virginia Beach oceanfront and into the Atlantic. Tonight, that vehicle is still in the water. It happened Saturday morning, and yesterday a crane, tugboat, and barge all tried to bring the car to the surface, but water conditions made it too difficult. Sonar images show the car is on its roof. The driver has not been found, and rough waters are posing a danger to recovery crews.
If the car is full of water, which we expect because it's not floating, you're going to add, exponentially a lot more depending on what's inside the car. We just don't know until we get the car up.
Police say they plan to recover the car later this week, either Thursday or Friday.
Breaking news this evening tied to the shooting of a recognizable deer often seen in Hollywood Cemetery known as the Hollywood buck. Police arrested 36-year-old Jason Walters of Richmond Sunday and charged him with 19 separate wildlife violations related to the illegal killing of 3 deer, including the Hollywood buck. Those charges include illegal possession of wildlife, trespassing, failing to check and tag a deer, and littering. The investigation, spanning several weeks, began in December when Walters shared photos of himself with the deer with its unique antlers. He claimed to have shot it in Prince Edward County, but people on social media recognized the deer and alerted the authorities.
A man is recovering tonight after falling into a 40-foot manhole in South Richmond. Rescue crews got the call just before 5 a.m. from inside the Southern States silo. Now, they said they're not sure how the man got inside since the silos are fenced off and because it's an active construction site. The man had his cell phone, though, and was able to call for help, but it still took rescuers more than an hour to locate and then rescue him. CBS 6 watched as the man walked into an ambulance with what appeared to be just minor injuries.
For months, our Melissa Hippolyte has been reporting on financial issues within the Office of Emergency Medical Services. With a multi-million-dollar budget shortfall, they said was due to financial irregularities. Now officials that oversee the department have revealed just how much money they're talking about and how they plan to make up the difference. Our Cameron Thompson is live at the state capitol with more. Cam?
Yeah, and Janine, that multi-million now turning into $33 million of a budget shortfall that VDH says was for a number of factors over a number of years. And among those factors, suspected fraud now being investigated by state and federal agencies.
It was found that the Office of EMS had a $33.3 million overcommitment.
Setting bookkeeping that wasn't allowed and potential fraud, Virginia Department of Health Commissioner Dr. Karen Shelton updates state lawmakers on financial problems within one of her departments while asking for help to fix it.
This is to make up for some of the shortfalls that we've had through the Office of EMS.
Prompted by money missing for a payment last June, Shelton says they found the Office of Emergency Medical Services, or OEMS, was $33 million in the red, in part because the office wasn't utilizing its funding as prescribed by law.
Some of the spending in these buckets had been shifted around between the buckets. We also found that there were some over obligations on contracts and overspending on contracts over time.
Shelton says that shifting kept the issue from being discovered, but adds there was little oversight from VDH. She adds the investigation has revealed potential fraud that's being investigated by state and federal agencies.
When you have a failure of this magnitude, there are probably several different things at play, but I can't comment into all the specifics at this time.
Because of the shortfalls, VDH has canceled the state training symposium, frozen grant funding, and frozen payments to EMS agencies around the state. As for the $33 million, Shelton says Governor Glenn Youngkin approved $8 million left over from last fiscal year to go towards it, and it's proposing the rest be covered by an additional $25 million in his proposed 2-year budget that's usually earmarked for general funds. When asked why lawmakers should sign off on it and why the public should have faith in VDH going forward, Shelton says she understands there are concerns.
We have restructured the department, and we have also put into place additional oversight within the financial systems to help make sure that the compliance, everything's being checked into and everything is going through the proper channels.
Among those with concerns, Delegate Irene Shin, who wrote to VDH in October, citing reporting by CBS 6's Melissa Hippolyte asking for more information. In response to VDH's presentation, she told CBS 6 in a statement that it doesn't provide the clarity she demands and says Virginia taxpayers are being asked to backfill a shortfall without an accurate accounting of where the millions of dollars went. Adding, quote, "We're talking about essential medical services. Virginians demand answers."
And among the other processes that VDH says they are putting into place is combining a work group of stakeholders to guide OEMS's future and bringing in a national firm to help employ best practices. At the state capitol, Cameron Thompson, CBS 6 News.
All right, thank you, Cam. It's now been several months since Chesterfield County cut its public curbside recycling program and required residents to sign up with private haulers. As our Tyler Lane reports, county leaders say they're optimistic about the recycling activity they're seeing, but not everyone is happy with the direction the county has taken.
In the back of Huguenot Park, you'll hear the sound of waste being diverted from the landfill.
I feel like this is a good thing, and if it helps the environment, and I just wish that people would do what they should do.
Miss Linda Roberts takes multiple visits to the park to drop off her recyclables.
At least weekly, more if I have more, and I love it. I love this.
The county added these bins a few months ago after cutting its public curbside recycling program through the Central Virginia Waste Management Authority, or CVWMA, which used to cost residents $40 per year. Now, families have to subscribe to a private hauler for curbside for double or even triple the price. However, the county says that's still cheaper than what its preferred contract through the CVWMA would have cost.
It just doesn't make any sense. Costs have gone up. The reporting has disappeared, at least from the CVWMA site, and the numbers that Chesterfield has provided to you suggest that there hasn't been an improvement in recycling.
The county government posted a blog saying its new approach to recycling is estimated to outperform what it collected through CVWMA in prior years, more than 13,000 tons. So we asked to see the data. The numbers were provided by the private haulers, and they show between July and October of last year, Chesterfield collected 5.9 million pounds of recycled materials through curbside. But that's a much lower number than the previous year. In the same time frame in 2022, CVWMA collected 8.1 million pounds in Chesterfield. CVWMA had 62,000 participating households, while the private companies have 46,000 households. Were you expecting to see a lower number in curbside recycling?
It was, because once we announced that we were transitioning away from CVWMA, we saw a downtick in the number of subscribers.
But to supplement that decrease, Chesterfield General Services Director John Neal says the county added free recycling options at public parks and expanded the hours at convenience centers, which he says are seeing significant traffic.
I think the numbers are strong overall for the community, and with the options that are available, we're on track to continue to be a leader in recycling in the region.
CVWMA says after Chesterfield pulled out of its curbside program, it saw a 17% drop in recycled items. But in other participating localities, collection is actually up by 15%, partly thanks to bigger bins in Henrico, Hanover, and Goochland, they say. Some residents, like Mark Bartok, hope that the county reverses course.
It just seems to me that Chesterfield County, instead of saying, okay, we'll make this private and we'll substitute some other places that are a little bit less convenient, maybe they could have said, hey, what can we do to increase participation?
Now, the county says it needs to see a full year's worth of data before making any type of official determination on the effectiveness of its initiatives. On the other hand, though, CVWMA says it doesn't make any type of projections at all because of too many unpredictable factors that could impact people's participation in recycling. In Chesterfield, I'm Tyler Lane, CBS 6 News.
His life was literally in their hands.
This marathoner is alive today thanks to strangers who stepped in to save him. Find out about the moments leading up to when his heart stopped and when he gets to thank his rescuers. That's next, all new at 6. Zach?
All the rain we received this weekend put this January in the record books. I'll show you how and give you a look ahead to what to expect as we move into February. That's straight ahead. Sean?
Zach, coming up in sports, what Chris Mooney thinks about the lack of respect from the A-10 this offseason. And speaking of spiders, the top spider is ruling the A-10 right now. But first, your Rosie's play of the day. Congratulations go out to the class of 2024 inducted into the Colonial Heights High School Hall of Fame over the weekend. 8 new members led by legendary head coach Bobby Ross, who is best known as winning a share of the 1991 national championship with Georgia Tech. and taking the then San Diego Chargers to the Super Bowl. But it all started with the Colonials down at Colonial Heights. Also inducted swimmer Whitney Hedgepeth, who won a gold and 2 silvers at the 1996 Summer Olympics. She also competed in the Seoul Olympics in 1988. It's a great night down there.
That's a pretty illustrious class, right?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yep.
When you make it into your high school Hall of Fame, that's...
You're right there, right?
You're right there. You're making it.
Yes.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long, or pretzel, and probably not a churro. They also said, under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. Then we said, but we already made them, and they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
An 8-year-old ambassador for alopecia. A lobbyist fighting for disabled Virginians. A group of friends spreading happiness. Preparing meals for students in need. And a school bus driver going the distance for kids. Greg McQuaid, highlighting Virginians making a difference.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. My service never stops.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
It's a breathtaking story of survival, a brush with death during the Richmond Marathon. We do want to warn you, though, some of the video is hard to watch.
David Griffin was running the Richmond Marathon back in November when he collapsed mid-race after his heart stopped. Griffin, a member of the Sports Backers Marathon training team, had been training for months. He said he felt great on race day, feeling really good for the first half of the 26.2-mile course. But when he got to Forest Hill Avenue, things changed. He collapsed, suffering sudden cardiac arrest. And as you see here, bystanders and first responders sprang into action, performing CPR until an ambulance could get there. David tells us about the last thing he remembers.
I remember coming across, past the Vale Brewery and up to that stoplight, but I don't remember anything past this area.
Wow. Well, tonight, Griffin gets to meet and thank the first responders who saved his life as they spread the word about just how important it is for everyone to learn CPR. Lane Casadante was there for the reunion. You'll see it tonight on the CBS 6 News at 11.
So pretty warm last week. I'm curious if we're going to have some of those warm temperatures this week.
I know we had some sort of blustery weather today, though, Zach. It was a little chilly with that wind, but all in all, a nice day.
Yeah, and actually today is going to be one of the warmer days that we have this week, and we have nothing even close to what we had last week. Last week, That Wednesday, Thursday, Friday run, it was 71, 71, and then Friday was 78. An unbelievable day. And then even on Saturday, 65, and made it 4 in a row of really nice days. But, it's late January after all, and now we have typical weather for this time of the year. Let me show you how we did. The morning low temperature was 42. The high reached 54 this afternoon. And the rain this past weekend did bump us up to 5 and about 5 3/4 of an inch, and that jumps us into rarefied air, which we'll look at here in a moment. 45 is our current temperature. We have a north-northeast wind at 7, makes it feel like 41. And other temperatures across the area are now just about all in the 40s, ranging from 42 to 48, kind of depending on where you are. All right, let's check out the ski report. It was a tough stretch there with the warm weather around, but they held on. The ski resorts did, so they've got lots of trails open. Massanutten, Wintergreen, and Snowshoe. Snowshoe's almost 100% open. Let's check out what we've got through our Sky Tracker camera. That's our Diamond Cam. Skies are clear around here. And just a couple clouds back to our north and west. Next storm system's a quick mover. It is just north of the U.S.-Canadian border, right along the Manitoba and Ontario line. It's going to move south and east, this low will, and that'll put us in a favorable spot for lift and a little bit of light rain early on Wednesday. Lows tonight will be mostly in the upper 20s to around 30, and highs tomorrow in the upper 40s. So it'll be chillier tomorrow than today, mainly because of the cloud cover that'll move in. We'll have some sunshine in the first part of the day, but then clouds will increase heading into the afternoon. Very light east-southeasterly winds at about 5 to 10. Rest of tonight, skies will stay mostly clear. Tomorrow, some sunshine early, but then the clouds will roll into the area in the afternoon and evening. And then by morning, we'll have a few showers around. More rainfall back to our south and west, and even a few snow showers out there. Skies will start to clear out Wednesday night, and Thursday looks good. Thursday looks to be a similar day to today, with a good bit of sunshine and highs back up into the 50s. Okay, so here we go. This month, this January, we are in the number 9 spot for wettest Januaries on record. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot Wednesday morning, so this might be the final tally for the month. But top 10 wettest Januaries on record, following the wettest December on record. So we're looking at back-to-back months cracking into the top 10. And right now we're in the number 7 spot for wettest winters on record. Meteorological winter is the period of December, January, and February. So we still have a full month left, and we're already in the number 7 spot. All right, looking at our highs over the next 7 days, we're going to be mainly in the 40s for highs, but we will jump up in the 50s for Thursday and Friday before it cools down again. And really just that one chance of rain coming up Wednesday morning. There could be a system that might bring us a little bit of rainfall next to maybe Monday into Tuesday, but as of right now, it looks like it's going to be mainly to the south. All that can change, but right now it looks to be a mainly dry pattern for us. 48 tomorrow, 49 Wednesday with a few sprinkles early, and then as we get into the end of the week, we warm up a little bit. Should be a real nice day to cap off the work week with a high of 57 on Friday before getting colder again over the upcoming weekend.
How do we tell the important stories about this community? There's Lane's Way. He's a true sports fan who's out there finding the incredible people making an impact beyond the roster. Rob's keeping up with the next generation and those helping them succeed. Or Melissa, she'll scour through 1,000 pages of documents committed to finding the truth. And then there's me. I've been with CBS 6 nearly 30 years, and I love people walking up wanting me to tell their story.
You budget. You pay bills.
Yet somehow women like you, like me,
are 80% more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to save ourselves by setting a goal to save 2% more of our income for our retirement.
Why 2? 1% honors you.
And 1% honors all womankind.
So come on. Learn more about the 2% challenge at WeSaySaveIt.org.
If alcohol builds a wall around you, know this. We're here to help if you want us to. It's never too early or too late to ask for help with a drinking problem. Alcoholics Anonymous. There is a way out.
I told you we might not be able to help you, but I actually have some guys here who are going to be able to give you a new shower today.
Today?
Today! How long has it been since you've been able to really take a shower?
Going on 4 years.
4 years.
This leg right here, I can't get it up to get in my bathtub. It's nice.
Oh, wow.
I like that. I can shower now.
It gives you a feeling of hope that the whole world can have some humility and humanity.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you.
We see them here day in, day out, greeting everyone, smiling.
I work 5 days a week.
Very exciting every day. I look forward to it.
Their passion, their grit, their love for this community. These two special ladies are role models for every single one of us.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown!
It's time for the Loyalty Automotive CBS 6 Sports Desk.
We begin this evening with college hoops. Off the heels of Richmond's 69-64 win over 16th-ranked Dayton, their biggest regular season win in recent years, the Spiders received 4 votes in this week's AP poll that has them ranked 36th in the country. The Spiders have won 10 straight, the longest streak since 1935, and has the second longest active winning streak in the nation, just behind McNeese State's 13 wins in a row. What's more important, Richmond sits atop the A-10 as the only undefeated team in the league at 7-0.
The preseason poll, of course, we've learned over and over again, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter in this day and age. And we have a good team for sure, and hopefully growing in confidence, and a team that, as I've said before, I think our ceiling is higher offensively than we've showed. But I think our defense is outstanding.
Spiders guard Jordan King was named A-10 Player of the Week, the second time he's received the honor this year. King averaged 24.5 points and shot 49% from the field and 50% from three in Richmond's 2 wins last week over GW and Dayton. He scored 32 against the Revolutionaries last Wednesday, his third 30-point effort this season and the most by a Spider since the 2016-17 campaign. King is currently second in the A-10 in scoring at 19 points per game. Turning now to football. 2 weeks ago, we reported that Perry Jones stepped down as Glen Allen's head coach after 5 seasons, and now we know why he made the decision. That's to reunite with his college coach. CBS 6 Sports has learned Jones has accepted a coaching position on Mike London's staff at William & Mary. He played for London at UVA from 2009 to 2012, was a team captain, and became the 4th player in UVA program history to have over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in a career. Also in the high school ranks, collegiate standout L.J. Booker announced on Twitter he has committed to Virginia Tech, becoming the latest from the Richmond region to be a Hokie. He accepted a preferred walk-on roster spot from Tech over offers from Rutgers, Duke, and Boston College. Booker is the 3rd player from the Metro Richmond area in 2024, joining Highland Springs' Noah Jenkins and Kelvin Gilliam Jr. in the 2024 class, who transferred from Oklahoma. And to the NFL, Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is now set. The 49ers punched their ticket to the Super Bowl after the 3rd largest comeback in conference championship history against the Lions. They scored 27 unanswered points after being down 24-7 at halftime and won 34-31. They'll face the reigning champs, Kansas City, who went to Baltimore and upset the number 1 seeded Ravens 17-10. Travis Kelce had 11 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown. These two met in Super Bowl 54, won by the Chiefs 31-20. You can watch Super Bowl 58 right here on CBS 6 Sunday, February 11th at 6:30. That's the latest from the Loyalty Automotive Sports Desk.
Are you struggling with addiction? Are you tired of being tired? Do you feel like life is unmanageable?
Addiction affects every facet of our lives. The Fresh Start program was developed to not only help one recover from addiction, but also prepare you with the tools to successfully integrate back into the community.
It's time for a fresh start. Contact Atlantic Outreach Group today and get back to being your best self.
Please, let us help.
Everything we are starts with you. Our dreams.
I just can't believe this.
Peace. Smiles.
Continues to melt my heart.
And trials.
How do you explain to a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, mommy has cancer?
Our compassion for those in need.
I believe my daughter's out there somewhere. I just want to know what happened to my son.
We ended up talking to a family of 5 that literally went from tragedy to triumph because of a house fire.
In less than 15 minutes, everything is burnt and gone.
And how American Red Cross stepped in to comfort that family.
I was just wanting to make sure he was going to be okay, or at that moment he had somebody. I just never thought that it meant that much to anybody.
Don't get caught in the rain. Download the CBS 6 weather app.
Veterans, when you're struggling, soon becomes later, becomes someday, becomes when. Don't wait. Reach out.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brighten your morning with Tom Patton. CBS 6 This Morning. Weekdays 4:30 to 7.
So, Zach, the winter-like weather has returned.
It has, temperature-wise at least. As far as anything frozen, odds aren't looking real good right now. There may be a little bit of wet snow early Wednesday morning back to our west. For us, it'll just be a cold rain. Really dry for much of the week. There'll be a little bit of warm-up Thursday into Friday before we get cold again this weekend.
All right, the roller coaster continues. Thank you, Zach. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here for the news at 7:30.
Good night.
Are you struggling with addiction? Are you tired of being tired? Do you feel like life is unmanageable?
Addiction affects every facet of our lives. The Fresh Start program was developed to not only help one recover from addiction, but also prepare you with the tools to successfully integrate back into the community.
It's time for a fresh start. Contact Atlantic Outreach Group today and get back to being your best self.
Please,